welcome back to the Bookworms, buddy. So today I wanted to try something a little bit new, a little bit different for my channel. I've been thinking about this for a couple weeks, trying to figure out how I was going to fit it in with working, and it's been really hard to get any kind of videos done. So I finally decided I was going to do this, and this is going to be something that's going to help me clear my shelves of those books that are sitting there that I'm probably not going to read. And it's going to be called Keep, Maybe, or Toss. And I'm really kind of excited how I'm going to do this. Is I'm going to try and get one done each month, and it is going to be one shelf each time. So I'm on my first bookcase, the very first shelf, and we're going to go through these books, and we are going to see if we're going to keep them, maybe keep them, or I'm going to toss them. So here we go. This first book I have here, I believe this was a book that my sister brought with her from Indiana, and it's called Nerve Damage. This is an uncorrected proof. This is by Peter Abrahams, and this is the book. This says, though she's been gone for 15 years, Roy Veloce still misses his wife, Delia, a brilliant economist, a private think tank who died in a helicopter crash. Now, because of a rare respiratory disease, Roy, too, is facing death. The doctors say he's got 4 more months. Curious about how his obituary will read, Roy and the computer-savvy kid back into the morgue of the New York Times. What he discovers shadows his world and everything he thought he knew. According to the paper, Delia worked at the United Nations. There must be some mistake, Roy thinks, for this is something that she never told me. Yet suddenly old friends are behaving like strangers, and places where Delia worked are gone without a trace. Who was Delia? How and why did she die? With time running out, desperate Roy refuses to stop living until he knows the truth about the woman he cannot stop loving. Okay, so it sounds like a decent book, but this is just it's an uncorrected proof. So I'm not sure I want to keep this. I can look this up at another time and maybe try and find the book. I don't feel like I'm going to pick this up and read it anytime soon, so we are going to toss it. The next one we got here is Watership Down by Richard Adams, and I can tell you right now that I'm going to keep this book on my shelf because it is a classic, and I want to read more classics, and I think this one would be one that I could probably enjoy. I'm not sure when I am going to get to it. If I do get to it, read it, enjoy it, then I'm going to get a better copy, because this one is like right here, the cover's split from the binding of the book, but I hear good things about this. This is a story actually about rabbits, and they talk, from what I understand. So this is definitely a book that I'm going to keep, and it is one that I want to get to at some point in the near future because I've heard really great things about it. So it's a keeper. Next one we've got here is Guy Adams' Kronos. The dead spur his vengeance, the undead pay the price. This one is obviously a vampire tale. It says the peace of an English village is shattered when a young girl withers before her friend's eyes, becoming dust and bones. Witnessing this terrifying transformation, local physician Dr. Marcus fears the village has been cursed by the presence of evil. He immediately summons his old army friend, the mysterious but powerful vampire hunter Kronos. Together with the help of his assistant, Professor Ghost, Kronos has dedicated his whole life to destroying vampires. He knows that there is nothing so varied and deadly. With a vampire, nothing is certain, especially how one might be able to kill it. As more and more villagers fall prey to this deadly curse, time is against him, and when it comes dangerously close to home, Kronos is faced with a terrible choice. So this is going to be a keeper. I don't normally read vampire books because lately they've been all about glamorized vampires and this and that. You guys know how I feel about that. This one, however, does not sound like that, so I think it's going to be a keeper, and I want to get to this one soon. These next 3 that I have is by Anne Aguirre, and this is the Endclave I believe it's just a trilogy, and I love, love, love the covers of these books, you guys. They are beautiful. I have these 3, and I've not read them yet, but I want to read them. I've heard some good things about it, but not a lot of people talk about them, so I just really want to get to these and complete this because it's driving me crazy sitting on my shelves looking beautiful and being ignored. So these are all keepers. Okay, so out of 6 books, I've gotten rid of 1. That's not good, guys. Next, we have got Cecilia Ahern. Oh, there's the other one right there. Cecilia Ahern. And I read P.S. I Love You, and I really kind of enjoyed this. I thought it was a really cute story. And I also have Thanks for the Memories and the Book of Tomorrow, which I love the cover on this book. So I am going to keep those 2, and this one I'm definitely keeping because I really enjoyed it. I actually read this book with Di, so yeah. So there's those 3 of Cecilia Ahern. Going to keep them, going to get these 2 read, and then we'll go from there. Keepers! The next ones here are from Sarah Addison Allen, which is my friend Susan's one of her favorite authors, and she had got me to read The Girl Who Chased the Moon. Look at this cover, beautiful. This is more along the lines of YA. I really enjoyed it. I'm glad that she had me pick it up and read it because I really did enjoy it. And then she wants me to read Garden Spells. Now she actually gave me this book. She sent this to me. I'm not sure. I don't remember when it was. I think it was last year sometime she gave this one to me. And then this one I just picked up, First Frost, which is the sequel to this one, from what she tells me. I do like Sarah Addison Allen's writing style, so yeah. This one is The Peach Keeper, which I also picked up at the same time that I picked up this one, First Frost. So I'm excited to get to these 3 books so I can experience as much of her writing as Susan has. I really liked this one, The Girl Who Chased the Moon. So I think I'm really going to enjoy these. So these are all going to be keepers. These next books are all by one of my favorite authors, and that is Mitch Albom. I love his writing. He just writes beautifully to me. I just enjoy the stuff that he writes. I read this one, and I read this one, Tuesdays with Maury, and I can't remember if I read this one. This is The 5 People You Meet in Heaven. I'll have to look that up, but I think I might have read this one too. I don't know. I know the one that I haven't read is The First Phone Call from Heaven by Mitch Albom. So, you guys know, definitely keepers, because I really like Mitch Albom's writing. So those are all for keeps. These next ones are not my books. These are my husband's books, but he really enjoyed them, and he's probably going to have me read them. And these are by Josephine Giulini, and I'm not... Oh yeah, it's the Star-Crossed trilogy, or I think it's a trilogy. So you got Goddess, Dreamless, these covers are gorgeous, and Star-Crossed. And he loved them. I will not get rid of them because they are his books, and I will eventually get to these. I thought it had something to do with mermaids. I'm not for sure on that, but I think it has to do with mermaids. So he really enjoyed them. I will be keeping these books. The next ones we got here are Laurie Halse Anderson, and I hear a lot of good things about these books, except for this one. This one is Speak. There was not as many pleasant things said about this one. I heard good things about Winter Girls, which is why I picked that one up. And I do have interest in reading her stuff, especially this one, which is Fever 1793. This is historical. I really want to read this one as well. These will all be keepers because I can't help myself. I want to read something by her. So I am going to end up keeping these 3 books, and this year I am going to read one of these books so that I can have some kind of idea if I like her writing style or not. I'm not sure which one of these I'm going to read, but this one says Melinda Sordino busted an end of summer party by calling the cops so her old friends won't talk to her and people she doesn't know hate her from a distance. The safest place to be is alone inside her own head, but even that's not safe because there's something she's trying not to think about, something about that night of the party that if she let it in would blow her carefully constructed disguise to smithereens, and then she would have to speak the truth. So it does sound really good. This one says, during the summer of 1793, Mattie Cook lives above the family coffee shop with her widowed mother and grandfather. Mattie spends her days avoiding chores and making plans to turn the family business into the finest Philadelphia has ever seen. But then the fever breaks out. Disease sweeps the streets, destroying everything in its path and turning Mattie's world upside down. At her feverish mother's insistence, Mattie flees the city with her grandfather, but she soon discovers that the sickness is everywhere, and Mattie must learn quickly how to survive in a city turned frantic with disease. So that one sounds really, really good to me. So one of these books I want to get to, and I'm thinking it's probably going to be this one, and I want it to be in the very near future. How's that? So yeah, I have to keep them, guys. I have to keep them. Here's Winter Girls. Leah and Cassie were best friends. Winter Girls frozen in matchstick bodies, but now Cassie is dead. Leah's mother is busy saving other people's lives. Her father is away on business. Her stepmother is clueless, and the voice inside Leah's head keeps telling her to remain in control. Stay strong. Lose more, weigh less. If she keeps on going this way, thinner, thinnest, maybe she'll disappear altogether. So this touches on a very deep, emotional subject. So I can't decide which one I want to read first. So you guys can let me know in the comments below which one you suggest me reading, and I will put it on a future TBR that's going to be in the next couple months. So let me know which of those 3 you would like me to read. Keepers. Next one we got here is Me, Earl, and the Dying Girl. This is by Jessie Anderson. I have heard some things about this, so I picked it up. I can't remember where I got this from. I think I found it. I don't know where I found it, actually. I know I didn't order the book. Maybe it was Goodwill. Maybe it was our bookstore. I'm not sure, either one. But I'm sorry it's so glary, guys. But I've heard a lot of stuff about it. I'm going to read it. And then I'll go from there and decide if it's something that I'm going to keep or not. So I know I'm keeping so many of these books off this first shelf. I don't know, what can I say? These next books are all from the Lux series, and you guys know, even though these were corny, when I first started reading them, I thought that they really picked up in this series. It's the further you went into the series, I really feel like they picked up. So even though they were corny and then got better, even though they were corny, we'll just say that, I'm going to keep this series because I really did enjoy it the further I got into the series. And if you've not read it, it's just fun. It's a fun read. And I think anybody could enjoy this because they're quick, fast-paced, fun, yeah, and a little adventurous. So, yeah, I definitely have to keep these because they were really, really good. And what can I say? Keepers. And the last book on my first shelf is Sense and Sensibility. This is by Jane Austen. My daughter just thinks that I should read Jane Austen. I have not read any of her stuff yet. I found this one at the bookstore and the cover is beautiful. I decided to pick it up. I do want to read Jane Austen because my daughter absolutely loves this stuff. And if she loves it, I'm going to have to probably love it too. We like a lot of the same things. This one says, when their father dies, the Dashwood women, Mrs. Dashwood, Eleanor, Marianne, and young Margaret, are plunged into poverty. Things take a turn for the better when sensible Eleanor finds herself falling deeply in love with shy, kindred spirit Edward Ferrars, but they are soon split apart when the Dashwoods move to a small cottage on the country estate of distant relatives. There, Marianne, an impulsive romantic, is swept off her feet by a seemingly perfect John Willoughby, who inexplicably leaves for London. The girls long for answers to their mysteries left behind by both men. Will the sisters be unlucky in love forever? So it does sound like a really good story, and I think I'll probably enjoy it. So this is going to be on a future TBR. Not sure when that will be, but keep her. And that is my first video of keep, maybe, or toss. And I hope you guys liked this, and let me know if you want to see more of these, because like I said, I'm going to try and do one a month. Also, make sure you let me know which of these Anderson books you want me to read first, and I will put that on a very close in the future TBR to read. So there we go, guys. Thanks for staying tuned, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.